this next guest is not just opening doors. She's found a way to transform that door into a parking garage. Not only has she made it a parking garage, she's made a map for other people to follow their way through that garage, as well as pack a bus full of people that she wants to guide into these doors. She is innovative. She is a fashion icon. She dares people to be themselves and then shows them that it's possible. She is a leader. She is an entrepreneur, and she is one of the coolest people I've had the privilege to meet to date. Ladies and gentlemen, Kristal Heredia.
Wow, that was probably the best intro I've ever gotten. I feel special.
You should.
Wow. Hello, everyone. It's so nice to be here. Can I look into cameras, or should I always stay locked in with you?
Camera over there. You can stay locked in with me either way.
It is so nice to be here. Thank you for having me, first and foremost. I was telling you before we even got into the situation of starting to film the podcast, how special I felt that you actually did your due diligence and your homework behind who I am as a person. That's really special to me, and I'm grateful that, and actually I'm comfortable now that I know that you know my past history, and I'm coming into this like, okay, you know me, and now we get to dig a little deeper. So that's so exciting. I'm so grateful to be here, and I'm excited for what this is going to turn out to be.
Yeah, we're besties. This is just solidifying it right now. I know
we are. Yes.
First of all, thank you. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Aside from the weather, I'm doing great. I feel good. I feel a nice little, like, I can breathe. I had a night off from my daughter. Me and my husband came out here. We had a little date night.
There we go.
So I feel a little extra pep in my step. It's nice to have a night off.
That's awesome. That's awesome. For people who are just tuning in, or for people who may not be familiar with your brand, who is Kristal in this season of life right now?
In this particular season, I like to say behind the scenes, I'm a pit bull. I advocate so strongly for the women that we represent through Mujeres Social, my agency. So first and foremost, I am a mother. I am a wife, but I am the biggest advocate for diverse women in the space. I've seen so many different things over the years of being in this space that I feel so called to show up and show women you can definitely be more things than just a mom. That's my story now. As soon as I became a mom, I'm like, this is awesome. I love it. But I'm so much cooler than just that title. Like, I'm so multifaceted. And I only hope that my social media can really portray that for me. So I am a pit bull behind the scenes. I'm a mom, a wife, but I'm also just a girl. Literally, exactly, I'm just a girl. So that's who I am.
I love that. Yeah. One thing that was so indicative when I went through your story and kind of did research for this episode is that you're not a person who can be defined by one label. And as soon as you get that label, you find a way to just destroy it and make it something way better. So I love that you said that you're not just a mom, you're not just a wife, you're not just this, that, the other, because so many people, they fall subject to the labels that they're tagged with, whether life has tagged them with it or whether society has tagged them with it. And you are always advocating for body positivity. You're always advocating for men and women to just be comfortable being yourself, right? Yeah. And one thing that you've said is, no matter what the number on the scale is, like, choose your happiness, choose your confidence, be confident. What does that mean for you today?
For me today, as a mom, I want my daughter to see that and feel like, whoa, like my mom is really this huge cheerleader for just being you, do you, be you, and own it. And even in real life situations, I'm always like, look, I can handle the truth, but just own it. Like, stand beside it, own it, say what you feel, and be who you are unapologetically. And so I think that's just living fully. Now, after all the loss I've gone through, that is my number one. You are going to live your life, girl, because you never know. You never know when's your last day. And so loss has taught me there's really no marker for what I can do. And I'm always going to push the bar a little bit. I really want to have a legacy. That's something my dad instilled in me. And now having a daughter, I want her to be proud of my legacy, and I want her to also strive for her own legacy. It's really easy for women to kind of sit back and let a man do his thing, and that's okay. I think that's great. I think it's nice to live a soft life, but I want the final say. If I want something and I want it now, I'm not waiting on anybody to say, yeah, maybe, or like, we'll be all surprised. No, I want it now. Like, I'm very much an instant gratification. And so my whole life, I think I have been wired to just work for what you want.
Yeah.
And I saw my dad do it. I saw my mom do it too. And in some instances, I saw her kind of kick back. And for me, that inspired me to not do that. Because I feel like women are so amazing. And aside from bringing life into this world, we have such great power in everything we do. And like such an eloquence to like doing something and doing it well. And I think that should be celebrated.
Yeah, I agree. And you're a huge advocate for women.
Yeah.
One thing that I found interesting, and it's so crazy, is as I was going through your content, I got a little more confidence. I started looking at myself a little differently. Like, hold on, I think I just put on some new socks. I feel good.
Yeah.
You are the embodiment of confident at work. You worked for it. You fought for it. You could feel it in what you're doing, that you will not allow anyone to take or break that confidence.
Oh, yeah.
Have you always been that way?
No. I grew up in a town that was predominantly white. And so for me, I think a lot of my adolescence, I just tried to fit in. Yeah. And it worked for a little bit until it didn't. And then I started to get a little rebellious. And I think that's when my journey toward self-confidence came into play of like, okay, well, if you're not going to accept me for who I am, if you're going to make jokes about me and not really take me seriously, okay, well, let's see what I become and who I am. And I think there's still a little bit of me that has that like, now you see me, I'm doing my thing, check me out now. And I don't want that to be my full story. That's really not the forefront of it, but it is a little bit of what kind of propelled me to, okay, do your own thing. Like, you don't have to fit in with the crowd. You don't have to look like them. Curvy is sexy. Yeah. Like it's women are beautiful, and women who own their body types, whether you're straight size, whether you're curvy, whether you're plus size, I think that's what's sexy about a woman, is just owning it. And like, you're going to dress up, you're going to dress for your body type. You don't have to be what the media portrays as now, right? This day and age sexy. You be you. And you see trends change over time. So like, 1 minute you're the trend, 1 minute you're not. But as long as you stay confident in that, I think there's such a sexiness behind that. So no, I haven't been confident all my life. I actually used to wear leggings and big hoodies. I would really, I would cover up a lot because I felt a little bit of shame of having curves too early, where it was like, why do you look like that? Like you aren't the average 12-year-old or 13-year-old. And so for me, hiding was a part of my story in the beginning until I realized it became my superpower. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. I'm actually like, I look good. I feel good. Why am I hiding that? Yeah. And a lot of that confidence came from realizing my mom lived unapologetically. She would go out, wear shorts, never be. I get a comment a lot of, oh my God, you're not scared to show your legs? Wow, I look just like you and I always hide them. And my first initial thought when I started social media, because that was never a thing, I'm like, girl, my mom looks just like me. All my aunts, they got knees out, ankles out, and everybody's happy. Like, what do you mean? Of course, I'm going to show my legs. So for me, it was a little bit of a redemption of, like, look at me now. Yeah, it makes sense too. Like, it speaks to your brand. What would you say to that woman who is in a place maybe where you were, who maybe hid their stomach under a pillow to take a picture or something like that? What would you say to that person to instill a little bit more confidence in them? Nobody's looking. Like, really, nobody cares. And that's something also I had to come to terms with. Even now, to this day, I go through experiences where I realize, like, Chris, it's not all about you. Like, people are going through their own experiences. People have their own insecurities that they're not thinking about. Oh, her belly's showing while she's sitting down. Look at her. Oh, she's choosing to put a pillow over her lap. Nobody's thinking about that. And if we championed that a little bit more on social media. I do think it could be instilled.
Yeah.
But I would tell someone who feels that way now, nobody cares. Nobody's really looking unless you're actively, like for me, when I receive hate comments, I'm putting myself on the internet. So it doesn't surprise me when people have an opinion. I think everybody has an opinion. Is it my business? No. And so I've got a strict policy of this is my space. I am big on blocking, and I'll block you. Like if you say, even if I have to think about, well, was this a weird comment? You're already blocked. So, and I do that in real life too. And I really want to encourage women to lead that way. Yeah. Like not everybody is thinking about how your legs look in your shorts. It's like everybody's got their own thing going on.
Yeah. Yeah. And at what point did that click for you, right? Like that I'm just going to be unapologetically myself.
When I started social media, as crazy as that sounds, I think when I built a community and I had a little bit of a backing of like, you know what, hell yeah, like hell yeah, we're gonna wear this, we're gonna do this. I was like, yeah, actually. And for me, as funny as it sounds, and this has been my entire life, I've leaded in ways where maybe I wasn't there yet. So like I was driving a Mercedes while I was a nanny. Was I there yet? No. Yeah. Did I get the Mercedes? Yes, because this is who I wanted to be. And so at that point, even on social media, I was preaching like, girl, like wear it, you do this. And did I have moments of insecurity? Yes. But did I still click post? Yes.
Yeah. You did it afraid.
I did it afraid. And you do it enough where it becomes, it's like, why was I even afraid of this? Like there's an entire community of people out there that's going to celebrate you and understand your journey and feel good when they see your content. So that's actually what helped me love myself more, because there were moments in my journey where I was like, I don't know. I maybe I don't necessarily love what I see in the mirror. Maybe I would tweak a couple of things. And I did throughout my journey, actually. Yeah. And I've always preached, if you want to do it, do it. It's your life. It's your body. Isn't that amazing? Yeah. Like it's my body. What I do with it is my choice, and it's no one else's business but theirs. So if you're going to do something, it's your business. If it makes you happy, do it.
Yeah, I love that. I love just, there's this fierceness in you. I don't know how to, especially in person. Like you kind of knew that it existed through social media, but when you're in person, you feel the passion. You can feel that you are an embodiment of what you're speaking. Yeah. One thing that I love, oh my God, I love this so much about your brand is no matter how far you've made it in life, you still go to Marshall's. You still go to Walmart. You still go to all these places that you know.
I don't forget.
Yeah. Talk to me about how important it is to your brand to go to these places that are affordable to people that grew up like we did.
Totally. Yeah. I love it. I still love it. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like nice things. I mean, you probably see it and I share it, right? Mm-hmm. I don't ever want to be inauthentic to my growth. I want my followers to see, hey, I stayed true to myself. This is where I am. But also, I haven't forgotten who I was. So like when I started, I actually got a message recently of a girl asking, hey, someone who is in this position who wants to do content but can't afford the clothes, like, what did you do? I thrifted. I went to Goodwill. I went to the Salvation Armies, and I was in there for 2 hours going through every single piece on the rack. And back then, I wasn't linking anything because I couldn't. It was like old stuff, but I made it look cool. And so enough of that. Then I was getting, brands actually willing to send me the clothes. So then it didn't become an expense. But over time, for me, one thing that has stayed true in my life, just in all things, is, and I'm going to bring God into this. God wants you to steward what you have, right? So who would I be if I didn't also own those parts of me that brought me here? So I was finding my finds to share on social media at Marshall's, TJ Maxx, Walmart. Even now, I love me a Walmart trip. Yeah. So it would be inauthentic of me not to still shop at those places because of my status or because of maybe my income now. It doesn't matter to me. I still love it. I'm still going to shop there. And I think that that's what keeps my community strong, is they understand that, yes, I have nice things, but I'm still grounded. I'm not like just totally out of touch with where the world is in a strange place,
Yeah.
and I have to be in tune with that, and I cannot remain successful if I let my head go in the clouds and I don't stay in tune with, okay, I'm sharing fashion, but it needs to be accessible to my audience at the end of the day.
Yeah, you do a great job. I mean, I even went to your, I think it's called LTK.
My LTK,
I'm like,
yes.
Man, this woman is doing it up for
Yeah.
everybody and anybody who is watching.
Yeah.
One thing that I've always noticed about your brand too, and just pivoting up slightly from the fashion, is how important your family is to you.
Oh, yeah.
And so,
I could literally cry about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love them to my core.
Yeah. And so I heard a little story.
Yeah.
That when you were in college, you actually moved back home to Connecticut, I believe it was,
Yeah.
to take care of your father at the time.
Yeah.
And you were still in school.
Oh, yeah.
And this was kind of the beginning of content creation for you, right? Using it as an outlet.
Totally.
I want you to talk to me about that moment, right? That transition from school to taking care of your father and playing those multiple hats.
Yeah. I think a lot of my story, I may seem like an open book, but a lot of my story I've kept near and dear to me. And what prompted me having to step up to that role is my dad had a stroke. Yeah. He retired, and I think he thought that was it. He was like, oh, I'm done for. I've got maybe a year or two left. And we ended up moving to Virginia. He bought a house with me in Virginia. He retired. I was still working. Julian came with us, and it was a huge strain on not only my relationship with Julian, but my being of, okay, I've got to change my life. All my friends are in Connecticut. This is the Bible Belt. It's different, no matter which way you put it. So I've got to kind of change who I am a little bit to kind of, again, now I'm retracting to fit the mold of Virginia, really. Yeah. And so he retired. We were out there maybe just shy of 3 years, and he blew through all of his money, like through everything. And
no worries, take your time. No worries.
I've actually never spoken about this before.
DJ, can we get tissue?
Yeah, sorry.
No worries, take your time. Thank you so much. Here you go. No worries.
And so I was in school. I was going to Old Dominion.
ODU.
ODU, yeah. And I loved it. Oh my gosh, what a great school. And I remember driving with him and telling him, like, Dad, like, we got to sell the house. Like, you really fucked up. And I remember in that moment that was the moment of, like, he was passing the torch to me. And the roles, especially my family, I grew up seeing men as providers.
Yeah.
And to me, I knew in his eyes when I looked at him, he was just defeated, and he knew he had messed up. And I looked at him, I'm like, we got to sell the house. And he's like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm like, literally, you blew it.
Yeah.
Like, we got to go back. And so we sold the house, and it was grind time. Like, I had to literally come back up to Connecticut. They were still in Virginia doing, preparing the house, getting it ready, whatever. And excuse me, sorry, oh my gosh.
No worries. Take your time. Whenever you're ready.
Okay. We came back. Well, I came back first. It was just me. They were out there finishing up everything. I had to digitally sign the papers for the house. It was my house.
Yeah,
So I had to digitally sign everything. I found a house, thank God, in the valley in Connecticut, and it just wound up working. But in that moment, and I don't even think my brothers who are still alive understand the gravity of that situation and how I really had to
shoulder it.
Yeah, I had to actually wear the role of a man. And I did it gracefully. I did it with a lot of pride. I had so much pride. And so we got the house. I started to pick up on social media. And as soon as I realized, okay, this can be my breakthrough, that was when my brother got sick. Yeah. And he would always tell me, like, Chris, don't stop posting. Like, you're doing great. And I would have never started social media if it wasn't for Julian, my husband. He would always tell me, like, you're so, like, you're good. But I listened to him, but I was still scared. And my brother, Chachi, who passed away, he was the one who really, like, dug it in. I'm like, you're made for this. Like, do this. And so when he got sick and he was in the hospital, I remember bringing my laptop with me and sitting by his bedside for hours, just like working. I was doing courses. I was mentoring women. I don't even think at this point all these women that I'm mentoring knew what was going on. And ultimately he ended up passing away. And I think that moment, as crazy as it sounds, because you would think the house being lost and having to move, and now I'm taking on such a greater role. That moment when he passed away, I was like, oh, I'm going to do this shit.
Yeah.
I am going to do it, and I'm going to be really good at it. And I was, and I am. Mm-hmm. And so since his passing, since we moved back to Connecticut, I've been the anchor for my family. Like I've done everything. I've paid for it all, and my parents taken care of them fully. And, at that point, again, it became a rebellious story of like, well, if you won't do it, fuck it, I am. Yeah. And I'm going to show you that it can be done, and it can be done well, and you could still look good while doing it, doing all of these things. And so that was actually a story I've never shared because it was so personal to me, and it hurt. Like it was like I didn't necessarily want to do it. I didn't want to have to take on that role, but I did it. And thank God it worked out, because I don't know where like we would have ended up if it didn't. But I started to take care of my parents. I started to put a great deal of money into the house that I bought in the Valley. And it just worked out. I bought during the pandemic, so it was great prices, and it just worked out. And then I ended up saying, okay, you guys are good. I'm going to go to LA now, and I'm going to build in LA.
Yeah.
And I left, and Jules and I drove cross country. And this was at this point, I told him, quit your job. He was still working up until this point. He was still holding his weight, helping out. And I'm like, now I need your support of like me. Yeah. I need your help with this. Like, yeah. I need this to work. And he was a little reluctant, like, are you sure? Like, I don't know if I'm ready to do that. And like, of course, he's Colombian. He's also grown up in a household where you're the man of the house. Like, and I assured him, like, this is gonna work. Trust me. Quit your job. And so he did. And he came with me. And it was like wheels to the ground. Like, we're doing it. I cannot fail. Like, now it's like there's multiple people that are counting on me. I can't fail. And that's when my career really just like blew up. I was comfortable in Connecticut, and it would have been enough for, I think, the average person. They would be like, you have, like, be grateful, you know? And something my dad instilled in me is like, no, you can do more. Yeah. You can do more. And so I did. I went to LA, and that's when it blew up. So yeah. Family is everything for me. And I don't even think they realize how deeply I feel behind that sentiment.
Yeah. First of all, I just want to say thank you for bringing that story here and allowing me to hold space for it. I can tell that it's heavy. And I was just, I did a podcast recently. I was so emotional. I was bawling all over the place. But the person that I interviewed, she said, grief is love that has nowhere to go. And so we miss people so much from places that we didn't even know was possible, and we have no place to put it.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the things that she does, and she's a pastor as well, she has like this backing track of crowd applause, and she'll play it, and she'll just imagine her family like yelling in the distance every time she misses them. So I could tell you miss your father deeply. I can tell you miss your brother deeply. And I want to say sorry for those. And
thank you.
You're an amazing person for what you've done.
Yeah.
Those are the moments that this podcast, to me, I wanted to tap into. It's the moments that matter to me.
Yeah.
Because although you're strong, and I know the similar, half Puerto Rican, half Black, I know what it's like to carry the load for your family. There's those moments where you have by yourself where you're like, what the fuck? Like, this shit is so heavy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
What do you do in those moments where you feel like you're carrying, and by the way, let me just take a moment to say, for a man to quit his job on behalf of his wife speaks volumes about the partner that you are with. So I want to give him so much props and so much respect that he's able to look at a woman and say, we could lead together, or there's times where she can lead. I don't care. I can support. Because to me, that's what a loving partnership is.
It's selfless.
It is. And love, I mean, Corinthians, right? Like love is selfless. It has to be. But most of all, it's not the absence of problems. It's not the absence of hard times. Yeah. It's the choice to choose each other every day through that.
100%.
Work through it, right?
Yeah.
So I want to get back to the question. I said a lot there, but I was emotionally charged, so I had to get it. But yeah, so in those moments where you're by yourself and things get heavy, how do you decompress? How do you let it go? Or how do you get back to self?
I talk to Julian. I think he is the gatekeeper of like the true, real emotions behind everything that I do. Yeah. Because I'll perceive to everybody I'm good. Like, you don't have to worry about me. And I think just in general in life, and I want this to be a sentiment for whoever is listening, the people that are like, I'm good, like, go the extra mile, because usually they're carrying a lot.
Yeah.
So for me, my decompressed moments are like within our four walls of just us being able to truly unpack. And he's a great partner in that way of like, he'll hear me, and also he'll bring reason. And sometimes I'm very opinionated in things, and he is great with that. He's great at grounding me, because like you said, it's not easy for a man to let someone lead for a little bit and be okay with that. But I can say confidently here, I would not have my business where it is if it wasn't for him. Yeah. Like, he's taken on the load of so much more so that I have a free mind to do what I do. So yeah, I think in this day and age, it's so easy for people to have this perception of powerful women where a man is just their champion and like he's the one holding it down at home. Like, that is hard too. That's not an easy weight to carry either.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I agree. And it's so beautiful hearing you talk, because you're constantly referencing little things that you got from your father, things that you got from your brother, things that you got from your husband, from your mom. These embodiments of Kristal, where you're carrying all these lessons, whether it's the lessons of do's or whether it's the lessons of don't, they make you who you are. These are the people who have made you who you are. Is there anybody that you haven't spoken of so far that holds a very big significance to your story that you think?
I think now my daughter, like, now I just feel even more ambitious of showing her, like, you can do so many things. You can literally do what you want. Yeah. And for a long time, I had this idea of what I should be. So there was a lot of positives that my dad led onto my life, but there was also negatives. And his viewpoint of school is the only way. And while I think school is so important, it is. Being educated is important. I think that's now a sentiment that needs to be pushed more, because social media has made things so accessible, working for yourself. But a lot of my life, my dad was like, you're not going to be successful with a hobby, Chris. And that was actually the sentiment he told my brother, who has since passed. Yeah. And again, coming back from that like rebellious place of like, no, you're going to see. Yeah. And he did. And he really, and he gave me my flowers, actually. Thank God we've had those conversations before he passed on. He was like, I didn't think that this could be done, but you showed me it can be. And he expressed a lot of regret that he didn't trust my brother enough with his dreams. And so I think for him, through the later years of his life, he championed me. Yeah. And he would go into any room, you couldn't get him to shut up about me. And I told him, like, Dad, you gotta stop. Like, people are tired of it. They see me on social media, then you're going into rooms and you don't stop. And he would fight me. He's like, no, I'm proud of you. And you're doing such incredible things, and people need to know about it. So I think for me, with what I do, there is a lot of like, there is a way that's promoted through just culture, right? Our cultures of like, no, there, you have to go to school, you have to do this, you have to be that. And a lot of my drive was, no, I want to show you there's a different way. And now with Jovi here, I want to show her, whatever you want to do, girl, I'm working hard so that you can do whatever you want to do. I mean, I think that's incredible. Like, there's this narrative now with like Nepo babies not having to work hard, and I think also that's a positive thing. I want my daughter, girl, if you want to chill and whatever. I hope that she's ambitious, but I do want to foster a place where she feels comfortable enough to have time to think about what it is. We would go through high school and it's like, go. You need to, I want her to have that place of like peace of, okay, I have time to think about what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah, I agree. And I think like, I could tell that me and you come from similar backgrounds, but like you spend so much of your life trying to survive it, like just trying to get to a place where you're okay. And then once you're okay, you don't even believe it's true, right? Like you're looking around like, wait, all the bills are paid, got a little extra money, let's maintain for as long as possible. And so many people stay at that level right there. They never get to that place where they're thriving like you, where you're just now you're pushing forward. But how much of your push, how much of your grind and your hustle and that pit bull mentality in you is because you just never want to go back to where you came from?
A lot of it. And I don't want this to be misconstrued because I had a good upbringing. Yeah, I can't complain. I mean,
same here, by the way. I just grew up in the project. Yeah, that's all it is.
Well, I mean, I grew up in a nice, quaint town. And, you know, we had a good house, but you only know what you only know, right? So, like, people didn't know what was going on behind closed doors. And for me, growing up, we had a lot of things, but it came at the expense of my parents not being financially literate. And so they would do things that would put them in a pinch. And I don't think they realized how much I was aware of the financial troubles, and they perceived this lifestyle and it wasn't that. And so, and it went on up until my dad passed away. Like he couldn't be stopped. He was who he was. And so we lived comfortably, but I grew up seeing my mom close the door, and I knew she was crying I would see bills all over the bed, like literally files give me the ick. I'm like, I don't want a filing cabinet. Actually, I think it's a trauma thing. I'm like, I leave the files away from me. Let's like figure it out digitally. I don't want to see it, because I remember seeing all the files on the bed of all the things, all the credit cards they would open, all the refinancing of the house, and like I would hear these things, and I don't think that they realize I'm smart. Like you pick up after a while, you pick up. And growing up in a predominantly white area, there are kids who have more than you, and you start to notice it. So I don't ever want it to be misconstrued that I am ungrateful for my upbringing, because I'm so grateful. I understand my privilege in that I grew up in a great area, great school district. I had access to a lot of things other people didn't and don't. But I still went through things. It doesn't discount the traumas that I went through, especially around money. And so now where I am, I do have anxieties of keeping it and building it and maintaining it, especially when people are relying on me. It's important to me. And I do have a sense of pride of, I don't ever want to have to ask someone for help. Like, and that's like a good and a bad thing, right? You're not bothering people, but it's a bad thing at some point, because you carry a load. Like it's a big weight. So I understand my privilege, but I think I want to say it doesn't discount my traumas of my upbringing. Your message will not be misconstrued on Maybe This Matters. Everybody knows that if I'm sitting across from you, you're a great person, and everything you say comes from that heart. So I want you to know that, and there's nothing wrong with what you said. Everybody has their story, and we don't know what we don't know. I'm sure there are people who had it worse than I did growing up, right? Who probably can speak from a different place, and I feel grateful for what I have. You feel grateful for what you have, but nonetheless, we have children that we need to instill things in and make sure that I say it all the time. By the time I was 8 years old, I saw 4 people with my own eyes killed to gun violence. My son doesn't even know what a gun is. He
just walks around thinking he's Sonic all day, just running with his arms behind his back.
Spider-Man.
Do and it's necessary. I can truly say the values that I've learned through poverty, I don't use those skills unless I'm in poverty again. I don't use the struggle unless I'm struggling again, right?
Yeah.
And I don't ever want to be in that place. So I get what you're saying wholeheartedly. And I don't think you're wrong for saying it either. So I want to prefix
thank you for that
conversation by giving you the grace to say it. And also the grace to know that you carry a lot. You carry a lot for your family.
Yeah.
You carry a lot for the people you love, but you also carry a lot as part of your mission. Mm-hmm. Like part of your mission in life is to instill confidence in people. And that's heavy because confidence is hard. That's a hard thing to sell. Everybody's fighting insecurity. So at what point did you realize that people weren't just looking at you for outfits, but they were actually looking at you for a source of confidence?
I started this series on stories way back when they allowed the question box, when it first rolled out, called What Would Chris Do?
Oh, I love that.
And it was basically you send in what you're going through or what you need advice on. And I just opened it just to see, like, would they respond? Because at that point, I knew I had a community behind me, but did I know if they trusted me enough with their deepest, darkest secrets and their trials? And wow, the response, I had like over 100 submissions. And at that point, I was still a smaller account. And I was like, oh my gosh, like these are my girls. Like they trust me. And so at that moment was when I realized, okay, I have to be mindful of how I show up and hold space also for them, because clearly they want to talk. They want to get these things off their chest. And so I did that for a while, and I would come on stories and talk about what I would do in any instance they would send in. And I think that brought us closer as a community, where they felt like, okay, she's not just here to sell an outfit. I actually care. I want to know what's going on. So I think that moment, that was probably in 2018, maybe.
That's a long, you've been doing this for a long time. Mm-hmm. And I know for me, there's sometimes where content creation feels like a job almost, like where you just have these lulls and these highs and lows. But I also know that through consistency, that gets better. How in the beginning of your journey did you fight that feeling of like, I got to post something today? Like, how did you get to a place where this no longer started feeling like a job?
I think it's the opposite. I think in the beginning, even now, I just feel so excited. And I know that's how I know that it's my purpose. Yeah. I love posting. I love talking to my people. I love responding. I love just seeing how people perceive what I post. I do love it. And so in the beginning, I showed up more than I do now. I was like, girl, we're getting to this. We're doing it. If we're going to do it, I was all in. And that's something about me just in general. If I want to do something, if I have an idea, I'm going to do it. I'm all in. Like, there's no half. Can I curse?
Of course.
There's no half-ass with me. Like, I'm very all in. So if I'm being half-ass with something, you can rest assured I don't want to do it. Yeah. But with this, with my agency, I am all in. And it's truly because I feel deep down it's my purpose. Yeah. So it doesn't feel like work. It still doesn't feel like work. I feel still excited, and what a blessing to be in a space to do what you love and feel excited to do it and show up. Yeah.
And once again, as if you didn't need any more weight on your shoulders, right? Like, you did take on the responsibility of ushering other people into this industry with your agency, Mujeres Social, right? Mm-hmm. What does that journey look like for you? What does it mean to you to have so many people looking up to you to take them somewhere as well?
It means a lot. I mean, I think in the beginning it was hard. I think even now it's hard because people perceive you, right? So in the beginning I was laughed at. They're like, look at this girl. She thinks she's an expert. And for me, again, that's fuel. Like, you're literally fueling me. And so it was, okay, I'm going to show you that I know what I'm talking about. And I'm able to build this agency, which I did. And it was exciting. And so I had closed the door on one-on-one coaching because that was a lot. Yeah. And I just solely focused on building my roster. And at that point, I discovered a lot of like the bigger names you see now. And they've since gone on to other agencies. As you grow, it's only natural to want to explore other routes. And I champion that. And I'm grateful that they even chose me in the beginning of their career to kind of show them the ropes. And so I struggle sometimes with people thinking that I don't do this genuinely, because I have run into that of like, I don't even know the word of, what is it when you're like, not jaded. I don't know. I can't think of the word right now, but I feel like sometimes people are like, is this too good to be true? Because I'm a riot. Like, I'm fun. I literally love loving women. Like, I love being excited, making someone feel good. I will literally love you down. If you're in my space and I truly feel for you, I love you down. And I've run into instances where people don't think maybe it's genuine because on their side of the spectrum, it's not. And they can't understand, wait, how could someone be so successful and still want to teach women how to do that, do it well, and then land these multi-figure deals? Like, why would she want to teach someone to do that? Wouldn't she want to keep it to herself? And it's like, why would I keep it to myself? This is an over $1 billion industry, and it keeps growing. And so I have run into instances of that. And it is a little discouraging because I know my character. And so for a little bit, I wanted to fight the feeling of like, why would you think that? Why would you think that of me? And for a while, I would go back and forth of like, do I need to prove myself? Do I need to show these particular people this is who I am? This is why I do what I do? And at some point, it becomes exhausting. And I just now own it. Like, this is who I am. You either love me or you don't. Yeah. But I'm still going to do what I do. It doesn't change the fact that I still want to help people. I still want to build. I'm good at it. Why would I not do it if I'm good at it? And I've got such incredible relationships with brands in the industry, with brand reps, with executives. Like, so I'm like, I know that this is what's for me, but there's always going to be those pushbacks in any career you're in. You're gonna have a coworker who's like, why are you so happy? Yeah. Do you really want to be here? And like, yeah, actually, I love it here. So for me, I've struggled with that a little bit of wanting everyone to love me. And now I'm like, sorry, like if you aren't a fan, I respect that, but I'm not gonna do the most to make you like me anymore. Yeah. I think I've run into that a little bit in this industry, and it used to bother me. It doesn't anymore. I'm just like, it's just like food and drinks. Some people, you can go to a restaurant, someone loves it. Someone will come in and then they're like, subpar, not a fan. I respect it. That's your decision. That's your opinion. I'm still going to be me. I'm still going to do what I do, and I'm going to do it well. And you do it well. And let me just say, your agency is spectacular. I mean, I've got the chance to deal with them in setting this up. Shout out Sophia, awesome person. Very professional, very easy, but very accountable. She was very thorough in vetting this opportunity, and that. I'm just so grateful that you're here, and I want to thank you again, in case I didn't thank you enough in the beginning, for just being here. But one thing that is apparent through your journey as I'm hearing you is the doubt. I don't get how many times you have to succeed before someone just figures out that that's part of your brand. Oh, yeah. What fuels you more? People doubting you or people supporting you? I think inherently being a Puerto Rican, being curvy, growing up and being the only girl out of 4 kids, the youngest, having to prove myself has always been a part of my journey. And so I think doubt fuels me, because I'm like, oh, you don't think I can do it? I'm going to literally show you. I'm going to literally show you. And so, and I don't want that to be misconstrued of like, that's all I focus on. But does it put a little extra fuel in my tank? Absolutely. Because it feels good succeeding and proving the naysayers wrong. Yeah, it feels really good. But over the years, I have learned to shift a little bit and pay more attention to the people who actually adore me, who are excited, who are building with me and believe in me, I think is the best way to put it. Because there are moments where you fall into the noise a little bit and you forget that it's not about the people who either don't like you or are doubting you. It's literally about the bigger purpose of helping others. Yeah. For me, that's huge. Stewarding your talent, and I'm very talented at negotiating. I'm very talented about community. I bring people. That's one thing about me. I bring people together, whether they leave with me in the situation. At some point, I was the reason they came together, and if they're great friends, they leave with that. So I think that that's my superpower. I bring people together. I show people who they can be, and I make them believe it. That's always been something about me. If you doubt yourself, I'll come into the room and you'll leave feeling like, oh, I'm going to do this. I got this. Like, and yeah, that's became my superpower. So yes, doubt fuels me a little bit. I have to say it. But I just think seeing how much I help others and how others succeed because I put a little hand in it's really fulfilling.
Yeah. And to that person who is maybe in your shoes back then, who may be sitting with a struggle, what would you give them as advice if they wanted to be like the Kristal Heredia of tomorrow?
Lock in, girl. Lock in. Yeah. It's so easy to get distracted by like silly things. And that's really I think this year or this past year, 2025, I really locked in. I secluded myself. I locked in. And again, it's just now a testament of all I've done. Even 2025 up until now, it shows. Like, just lock in with yourself. That would be my best advice. Because sometimes things get a little distracting. Yeah. Lock in, girl.
No, I appreciate that. And one thing, I like I said, we besties. I've studied you. I've went through this. One thing that I love about your journey so much, and I'm like, man, this woman just constantly continues to impress me, is that it's not just important to make it, but it's very important on who you make it with.
Oh, yeah.
And so if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, you've kind of taken your brother's daughter under your wing as well. What does it mean like to bring her into the fold of what you were doing?
It means a lot. I think that stability that it's brought in her, but also the structure within her life. I think she would have, without me and the business, I think she would have still went on to do great things. Yeah. With me, it's kind of like that extra boost of like, okay, I got someone in line with me. If I ever need a little bit of a pep talk, I'm always going to be there, and I'm always going to check her when she needs it, respectfully.
Of course, yeah.
And that's transformed her in a way through business that I don't necessarily think I would have seen had she gone off to do, I know she wanted to do something in business. And I think for us, we've been able to weather so many storms together, and it's hard. Doing business with family is never recommended. Yeah. So it is hard. But at the core of it all, there's always been a level of respect. And I made a promise to my brother. So I'm going to stick to that. I'm a woman of my word. And I said I'd hold it down. And I am. And now she surprised me a little bit. She started as my assistant, and she was okay at that. I'm not gonna. She was okay. I'm like, let's switch your role a little bit. I think you might be better at this. And then she started as an agent, worked her way up to VP of talent management, still overseeing her own roster. And she's proven herself in that she's willing to learn, and she's not afraid of not knowing and asking. And I respect that, because a lot of people just want to know everything and always have an answer. And if she's needing to pivot, or if she's needing to adjust or do better, she's always open to that. And so that's when I knew, okay, we can do this together. Like, if I ever need to come to you as a boss, I never have to feel like as an aunt, you're going to look at me like, really? Yeah. She respects my role. And I appreciate that because like I said, it could get dicey, family and business. And so for me, respect is always at the core. And she's proven herself. She's good at what she does, and she's efficient, and she's always willing to learn, which is important for me as I grow this business. I need someone who is willing to shift. It's an industry that is ever changing. So I need you to be ahead of the game. You know what I mean? I need you to know when it's time to shift and pivot and learn. And she's done a good job at that. So
that's awesome. I know it seemed like a very random question, but the reason why I asked that question is because I was always taught that you can tell a lot about a person by how they speak about the person that they're mentoring. And you gave her a lot of grace. You gave honesty, you gave love, and you gave props. This is all signs of a great leader. It shows that you, at a very young age, let me just throw that out there, are a very great leader. You're ushering future generations into a business that's very tough. One thing that I've learned, and is so consistent amongst everybody that I'm interviewing, if they're in the influencer space, is that being an influencer sometimes gets lonely as far as just having peers that you can do things with.
Yeah.
How do you discern the new people trying to get into your life, right? Like, how do you know whether or not they just want to be your friends to go to the cool events or get the perks versus somebody who's really down for you?
I've gotten better at it. I wasn't always that good in the beginning. And I am a community builder through and through. So like everyone, I'm like, yeah, like let's do this all together. And I didn't recognize signs because they were there. Of course, when you look back, you're like, oh girl, the signs were there.
Yeah.
But I do have to give a lot of credit to Julian. I think that when we have those moments that we talked about earlier where we're behind closed doors and we really talk about things, he's able to help me discern. Because sometimes I want to think the best of people. I always want to help. And that, again, is a great quality, but it could get you in trouble if you're helping the wrong people. Yeah. And so now I don't lead with friendship, which is how I led before. I was always ready to be someone's friend. I was always ready to just like, let's chop it up. Let me help you. I'm such a giver naturally. I'm like, here. Whatever I got, my contacts, everything really. And as you build an agency, that's like one of the things that through learning experiences you can't do, because this is like years of work and building, relationship building, I'm sure you know, is so hard.
It's key. Yeah.
So Julian, again, keeps me grounded and level-headed, and we'll talk, and I'll bring up people to him, and I'll bring him around people for that reason of discernment, because sometimes it is hard to decipher, hey, you know, are you a friend? Are you an associate? Are you someone that's going to be talent? Which that's also been a hard thing for me over the years. I'm really good at it now, of drawing the line of, if you are talent with my agency, there needs to be a level of professionalism, and there needs to be a line of, this is the relationship ultimately, because as talent grows, sometimes they're going to want to go explore other things, and it can never feel like a personal attack to me. And a way I'm able to weather that now is to have that distinctive line of, this is business at the end of the day. So for me, it is nice to have a partner who is like the yin to my yang, because I'm very much a giver. I want to help everyone. I always think the best right at face value, and he's really good at seeing past that. I don't have those lenses, unfortunately. We can't have it all. I don't have those lenses. He's really good at seeing past that, and he showed me that early on. I had went to an event and I had brought him. I don't really bring him anymore because they talk about the girls who bring their man. So he kind of does his own thing. But in the beginning, he would come to me and I would go up to, oh my God, how are you? I'd go up to everyone, give them hugs and kisses. And I remember coming back to him. And again, he's discerning, he's watching, you know, how things are when I walk away from this interaction. And he's like, those are not your people, Chris. Like, you should see the faces that are made when you're walking away, where you're like embracing them and giving them 110%. And it's like, he's protecting you. He's covering you
through
and through.
I love that. How, you know, let me put the cards down because this is not even on the question. the way you talk about him is phenomenal, because you are the epitome of what I would call a bossed up woman. I mean, you have the business, you have the numbers, you have the brand, but it's still so important for you to hold space for what true partnership is. And that's incredible. What drives you, or what keeps you in a mentality in which you're able to say, no, this is my husband. Like, this is a partnership. I have to soften for him. How do you balance being this boss woman versus being wifey?
I won't lie, it's hard. It is hard, but God and values what I was brought up, seeing. I saw a relationship at home that was united. Whether or not there was fights, whether or not there was trouble, it was always resolved. And it was united, and that's important to me, that unity and having someone who you can grow with. This day and age, oh my gosh, that's one con about social media. There's such this idea of what a relationship should be, and there's just these roles that are so like set in stone, and I don't believe in any of that, because I've seen different dynamics work, and longevity and being with someone and growing with them is important. I think when you listen to social media, everyone wants to leave at the drop of a dime over silly things, like things that it's like, oh my gosh, like if you actually just had a conversation with someone, and even in friendships, like, why can't people just have conversations? It doesn't have to be weird. Like say how you feel. And so, the same goes in my relationship, where I am very much, yes, a boss. I agree with you. I'm a boss. But we do have conversations of what Julian feels he needs to take lead on. And I respect that. Yeah. And it was hard in the beginning because I'm hard-headed. Yeah. So like, I'm like, I don't want to do that. Especially when you have a baby, because now you're morphing two roles and two different experiences together. And you have to agree to disagree and come to a space of how you want to raise your child, the environment you want to raise your child in. And so that was pivotal for me, where he would tell me things and I'm like, you know what, you're right. I didn't realize that it is important for you to lead in these certain aspects, and for you to, I can kick back. I don't have to do it. I don't have to do it all. And but he's taught me that. So it takes a partner who's willing to listen, but also who's willing to learn, because we both have learned enough from each other to be in the place that we're in. And I'm grateful for that, because a lot of couples don't see, they see marriage, but they quickly see divorce. Yeah. And I've been with Julian for 14 years now.
Dang. 14 That's like high school.
Yeah, I was in high school. Yeah. So has there been learning experiences? Yes.
Of course.
But when you love someone truly at the core and you see who they are, you're willing to learn, and you're willing to put your pride aside and shift and change that still is true to you, but also you're honoring how they feel. Yeah. And I think that's important. So when I'm home, I am a little bit more laid back. Yeah. Like, and I say that sometimes, there's things that I'm like, babe, I want to be home and I don't even want to think about it. And he's like, okay. So like there are things that we give and take on, and it works for us.
Yeah. I love how, I don't know if he still is, but I loved how early on in your career, he was the one behind the lens. And like, if you weren't paying attention, you might have missed that there was a quiet support there from him as well. Yeah. And it's absolutely necessary. I wanted to tack on to what you were saying, that relationships are not easy. No. And people do leave them too soon. And I say that there are some people who stay too long too. Mm-hmm. There has to be that discernment. And what what people have to realize is you're still getting to know someone 5, 6, 7 years
Literally.
in. You're still getting to know them.
Yeah.
And then these people are evolving. Like the Kristal that's in front of me today is not the Kristal that was 5,
Bless
7
her
years
heart. Bless the old Kristal's heart. We both were patient.
Yeah, yeah.
Now, thank God. I mean, just as individuals, we're so certain about ourselves now. But back then, you know, it goes both ways. Like I had a lot of things I need to change. Just my ways of thinking. And so, yeah, it takes a lot of learning. And like you said, past 5, 6 years, you're still learning things about each other.
Yeah. And then you become a mother, and this is a completely different hat, right? Like I always tell my friends, like, you don't know what love is until you have a child. Like it's just a monstrous feeling.
Yeah.
You become overwhelmed with anxiety, fear. Like I haven't got a good night's sleep since I started having kids.
How old's your youngest?
Yeah, so my youngest is 9, my oldest is 16, going to be 17. So I can't separate being a father from being an adult. Like I had my first when I was 18 is all I know, right? But it changes you. It really does. How has being a mother changed you? And her name is Jovi?
Jovi. Ooh. Yes. Jovi Noel. It's made me, I think if this is even a thing, more fierce.
Yeah.
I'm so protective of just my energy, our space, our home. Because not everybody needs to be in your home. That's another subject for another day. And my discernment, because like I said, it wasn't that great in the beginning. Julian's played a great role of kind of bridging that gap. But now as a mother, I am way more discerning, and I can see things for what they are way quicker than I used to be able to. And then a lot of things that used to matter. And this is actually where the change of me caring about how other people felt about me. Yeah. Once you become a mother and you bring life into this world, that becomes so unimportant. Especially when you know at your core you're a good person and you're doing good and you're being good. It's like, look, you can't please them all. And now I've got a child and I've got a family. And again, that's something that we've had to have conversation of like, Chris, you got a family now. Lock in that, because I really would spend nights of like, oh, I hate that people don't like me, and if they don't like me, I need to do this, that, and the third. And when there's so many people that love me, and there's so many people that champion me, and my biggest person is at home, sleeping next to me in the bed.
Yeah, we gotta get her. You talking about Jovi?
Yeah,
we gotta get her out the bed for Julian's sake. We gotta get her out the bed. But we're working on it.
Another story for another day. So it's like, guys, come on. Like when and I know a lot of mothers will relate to this. You become more tuned in to protecting your child's space, your child's everything, really. Yeah. Because that's our hearts walking outside of our bodies. So I want to make sure that I'm not stressed about minuscule things, because she catches on to that. Children, I mean, like I told you, the file thing, my mom doesn't even know that. She's going to watch this back like, oh my God, you realize that? Hell yeah, I did, actually. So for me, I really want my daughter to, I know I'm not perfect. No one's perfect. Me and Julian. So there are going to be things that she'll grow up and maybe she'll learn from by watching us. But I hope that they're not huge things. I hope it's like little things, because I want her to feel secure in her environment at home and feel safe.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to ask you two deeply personal questions.
Yes.
What do you hope Jovi looks or sees in you when she looks at you?
I just want to be strong, because that's how I saw my mom. So I hope that she doesn't feel like she needs to worry about me, because like, that's my job, girl. Don't ever worry about me. I got this. And that's how I felt about my mom for a lot, up until, she's a little older now. But for a lot of my life, I never worried about my mom, because she perceived to be so strong. And just like she got it done, whatever that was. And so I want Jovi to see me in that light. Because at least for me, it's endearing. Like my mom is like superwoman to me. So I could only hope to be that for Jovi as she grows up. I just want her to look at me like, oh my God, my mom is the best. She's strong, she's confident, and she's my best friend.
Yeah. Yeah. Before I get to the next question, it's so interesting because I have a very similar outlook with my father, right? Like my father to me was Superman. I at one point I felt like he could dodge bullets like he was in Neo in the Matrix. But as I've grown up, I've realized how much he's carried and how much was behind that strength. And I kind of lived the same way with my son. Like I cried maybe in front of my son for the first time last year, and he was just like, you cry too?
He's like, wait a minute.
He's like, wait, I cry, you do that too?
Yeah.
And as parents, I feel like we're always learning, right? Like I always say, like we say that we're the one with the patience, but we're the one that's losing patience. So they're the ones with the patience, right? They're teaching us more, if not, than we're teaching them, because we're more knowledgeable to receive what they're teaching us versus them. Everything's first time for them, right?
Yeah.
So I question that sometimes. I question if strength is the way to look.
Yeah.
I still do it.
It's a cultural thing.
Yeah, it is. It has to be.
Yeah.
It's hard.
Even now, I just want her to be a kid.
Yeah.
And I think that comes from a place of me having moments where I felt like I needed to be independent because I was the last one and everyone was busy. I mean, that's like the simplest way to put it. My mom was working, my dad was working, my brothers were all teenagers by the time I was in middle and high school. And so like I did have to be independent very early and just figure it out. And I don't want my daughter to be that way. I want her to feel like, okay, there's space for me to come to my mom or my dad if I need help with a project or if I need help with homework. In my household, I avoided that at all costs because a Puerto Rican dad and some math, you're leaving the room in tears.
It's like if Billy had 3 apples.
Right. So I would rather get a C or a D than hear him screaming. So for me, I just want to at least embody strength, but also embody like peace for her. I want her to come to me if she needs anything, even if it's just a listening ear.
Yeah.
And I can say that maybe is something I lacked growing up. And so that's maybe the strength part, maybe I need to work on, but that's really the messaging here of, I just want to be strong enough for my daughter to feel confident coming to me with anything and know that I can handle it. Yeah. And I won't judge her. And I'll advise her the best I can so she can feel like, okay, I can go to my parents and know. I just never want an outside source to be her safe place, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that's the fear for every parent, right? Like, I feel like so much of the wrong decisions we've made in life is always from a place of outside influence. Like, in loving homes, I will say your parents often want the best for you, right? Like, there's no malice or anything there. So I agree. As a parent, I'm always looking at it like, man, and keep in mind, my daughter is 16, 17, so I'm at that age where she's starting to do things and want to do things. And I call my pops up, and my pops is like Snoop Dogg. He just smokes weed, and he's wise all the time. I always say this. And he always tells me, like, you can't stop the train. You can't get on it with her, teach her, and get off before she gets to her destination. That's your role as she grows up, is to get on the train, give her as much as you can before that next stop, get off, meet her at the next stop, get on, and just keep giving her those pieces of advice. So I think, I know you're a phenomenal mother. I can tell right off the rip. When Jovi looks at your relationship, what do you want her to know about love between you and Julian? Like, what's the lesson there that you hope she sees as she's growing up? Yeah,
I want her to see patience. Consideration is a big one. I just want her to see two people consider each other, feelings, morals, everything. And love, big love. I give her big love all day. She gets that from me all day, but I want her to see big love between her dad and I, which she does. So yeah, for me, I just want her to have that. And we're really good about I want her to see, and I tell Julian this, I'm like, look, we don't have to have every hard discussion behind closed doors, because I do want her to see that you can solve a problem with a partner amicably and with respect. So we can have, like, if it's something that's not going to necessarily bring her stress, we can have these discussions in front of her, because I think growing up, I lacked seeing that, the consideration, the patience between my parents. And I knew when I was getting into a relationship with anyone that I needed someone to be level-headed and to be willing to discuss feelings. Yeah. It's important, even to this day. And even with my daughter, I'm very big on discussing how you feel. Even if it makes you uncomfortable, let's talk about it. Yeah. And I want to display that for her. And I think we do a good job at that. And I hope we can continue to do that, so that she knows any healthy relationship, there is going to be consideration. There is going to be, if you don't agree, you can have a conversation and it not get to a disrespectful place, to come to a common ground. Yeah. That's important.
Yeah, I love that. And I'll be praying for your family and your daughter.
Thank you.
Beautiful,
Likewise.
Beautiful family, beautiful journey that you guys are on. But as a woman, going through childbirth is different. It's monumental. It does stuff to your mentality. It does stuff to your body. And you're a woman who's always so focused on your brand. And part of your brand is fashion. Part of your brand is curviness. Yeah. And when you get pregnant, you do gain weight, and you have lost a lot of weight in the process. And you've been this woman who's constantly journeying and saying, like, hey, no matter what size I am, no matter what I look like, this is me all the time. Yeah. How do you have the confidence, or keep the confidence, in those seasons where you might look in the mirror and not like who you see?
It's funny, because a lot of the time, even before I lost weight, when I look back at those videos, I didn't like what I see now is not what I saw before. It's like, I really was that girl. Like, you couldn't tell me anything, and I still am. And I think that that's important, because I didn't feel any way when I gained 65 pounds during pregnancy. I was so confident. Yeah. I was like, oh, I'm literally carrying a child. Are you kidding me? I'm
doing a Nike deal at that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I like went to a Good American event. I had my belly out with an all jean fit. You couldn't tell me anything. And I felt so good. I felt so womanly and powerful. And I'm so glad that was my outlook, because even though I've lost all this weight, I can look back at these videos and still see that. You could see the confidence in the content. Yeah, for sure. Like, the proof is in the pudding. Like, you can still be, 280 and still have the confidence, and you can be 180 and still. So for me, I think looking back, I'm actually grateful that I had that lens. There were moments, of course, behind closed doors where maybe I wasn't happy that I got more stretch marks, or maybe I was just more, I think, retaining water. I retained so much water during my pregnancy. So my legs got bigger. And I remember looking back at content, I didn't even realize how big my legs were and how much water I was retaining, just because, like, for me, in those moments, I was just so proud to be pregnant. I was so proud to be able to bear a child. That's such a hard thing in and of itself. And so, I don't know, now I am grateful that all throughout my journey, whether I was over 200 pounds, under, I still showed up and just made it shake. Like, I really did what I did. Like, and I'm glad I did, and I'm glad I have that digital footprint, because at some point my daughter's going to have social media. Yeah. And she's going to see this, and it's actually something I am proud of. I'm like, girl, run the archive. I'm proud of it. I want her to see it. So, yeah, it's important to me that I showed up that way, and I'm grateful that I did. And that takes a lot of discipline, because I did have moments where I looked in the mirror, maybe I wasn't fully there, but I still showed up and emulated that, because there's a greater picture. There's a bigger purpose here. And yeah, I'm glad I did that. Yeah. Yeah. And your confidence throughout your journey is evident. I always say, like, even with creativity or art, there's a place where you're believing in yourself, and then there's a place where you just believe it.
Like you don't have to force it anymore. And I can tell that you're at that place right now.
Yeah.
But even at that place, there are moments of insecurity. There are moments where you're battling things and different things like that. When you get to those stages where you feel like somebody, even negative comments, right? Like we spoke about that earlier, where you feel like somebody's trying to poke at that confidence. Like, do you have any routines or anything that you do to just remind yourself like, I'm the ish, you know what I mean?
I think the routine is logging off for a little bit and putting the phone down. In the beginning, I think it would have affected me more than it does now, because whenever I get a negative comment, I usually know it's not someone who knows me. Because like, course. If you follow my journey and you think that way, I feel bad for you, for the person commenting, because it's like there's so much value in what I've put out there and what I've been willing to share. So when I receive the comments now, I'm like, clearly you don't know me. Yeah. So it's a big block. And if it's something that affects me in that moment, I'll put my phone away and just have a minute of like, okay, we got to log off for a little bit. But I'm grateful. I think having a partner that like has loved me at all phases, like loved me down. I'm talking about like, yeah. There's not a dimple or a roll that this man does not love. I think that actually helped. And and the girls that really like to give men a bad rep, it's not a bad thing to champion men in that aspect of like, it's nice to be wanted and to be loved for who you are at your core. Yeah. And do I think I could have gotten to this place without that? Yes. Is it nice to have that extra boost? Absolutely. It is nice to be loved, to be wanted for who I am at my core. Because I could be in a big t-shirt, even just Billie Eilish, spit up on my shirt, and this man is like, like, come on, really? I'm like, really? You mean right now? He's like, yes, right now. So it is an extra boost that I'm grateful for.
Yeah, and I think it's necessary. I always say, like, you can get 1,000,000 compliments from 1,000,000 people, but if you don't get one from the person that you're expecting it from, it hurts. It damages your confidence. So for you to have that support, that somebody, I mean, with baby spit up is wild, but we're just gonna go with it, and just say, like that's incredible, and I'm happy for that. And I agree. Anybody who has met you, there's no way they're going to cast that level of hate upon you, because you're a phenomenal person. Just sitting here in this moment, this is really our first conversation. It's so apparent that you're a phenomenal person, and you're also a force. So I have to ask, where does this all end for you? Like, what does it look like when you're sitting at that mountaintop and you look back? Like, what does success look like for you?
True success is having happiness at home for me. So I think money is great. I think being a mentor is great, but I've seen someone have it all and still not be happy. Yeah. And I think there's something to be said about that. So true success for me, it's great to have all those things and to build on that and to do more and to have more. But I want to be happy first at home, and I am, and I'm grateful. And I think it is displayed on my platforms, and it makes me happy, because I think I show women a different lens and scope of, you can have a private life but still give people just enough to want to be a part of your community. And I've done just that. And again, a lot of that has been the influence of Julian. He's so private. And when I was starting, I wanted to share it all. There was no ground that I was willing to not uncover. Yeah. And there was moments where we're talking where he's like, maybe we should just like give it a little bit, see how you feel down the line. If you want to share it then, fair. Yeah. And I'm actually really grateful for that take, because there are things where we have instances like this where I'm able to share things that I kept to myself for a long time, where it's more impactful in this setting rather than if I was just to come on and make a quick video. So true success for me is happiness at home. If my daughter's happy, healthy, feeling loved, if my husband is happy, healthy, feeling loved, that for me is enough. And then it extends on, right? My mom is a huge part of my life. My brothers, I would hope that all is well and they're happy and healthy. But at the core, your home is really your safe space.
Yeah.
And so that's true success. Because there's so many people that have it all monetarily, and you could see it in their eyes. It's not enough.
Yeah,
it's not enough. Like,
yeah.
love is a really, really great thing to have, and it does propel you into all different other aspects in your life. And I'm really grateful that I have that love and that it's protected. I really keep a lot of our relationship offline. And someone commented recently, I haven't seen your husband in a while. Are you still together? Like, girl, he's not for public display. This is my page.
Yeah. This is your man.
We're still very much in love. And it's for me, that's power.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, you know of him, but you will never know too deeply, because I'm big spiritually on people wanting to know certain things for not good reasons, and to wish bad on those things. So I really do protect things that are very near and dear to me with my literal life. Like, I want to keep them, so I protect them.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that definition of success. It aligns very much with me. Like, similar to you, I've seen people have everything and have nothing. It's incredible how the value that we place on monetary things, the value that we place on lifestyle because of social media and society and stuff like that, is to take us away from love, to take us away from what God put us on this earth, which is the fellowship, to give him praise and all the things for his glory. So I'm so thrilled that sitting across from you, knowing that that's exactly the mentality that you have at your age, is phenomenal to me. I always close my interviews with the same 3 questions. They're my favorite questions. They're part of why I've done this podcast. So the first question is, what used to matter to you before that no longer matters now?
What people think about me. I think that was a big one. It used to really matter. I think it mattered a little too much. It doesn't matter unless you're important to me. It doesn't matter to me what you think about me. Unless you're someone I love, you're someone that I'm constantly dealing with. It goes into consideration. Like, you can't stress about things that you can't change.
Yeah.
Like, and you could really try really hard to change people's perceptions or opinions, but if they're set in that, you're not changing it. And I'm not going to beat myself up to change that.
Yeah. And the second question is kind of the opposite of that. What matters the most to you right now?
My daughter. 100%. And my husband. I think, God forbid, if I were to lose it all, as long as I have them, I've got it all.
That's
truly.
I'm going to run that back twice on the edit. And
yes.
The third question is, if you could go back today and give your 17-year-old self advice that you think would be valuable for you to know today, what would you have told yourself?
To slow down. Just in general. I think for me, life was a race. It's not anymore. I'm not racing anyone anymore. I'm tired. But life was a race, and just wanting to be older, to be more experienced, to know all the things and be the most insightful in the room. I didn't listen in some instances where I wish I did. So I think my best piece of advice is just to slow down, listen more, and be more receptive. I think when you're operating on a rebellious accord, you sometimes block out the noise, and it got me where I am.
Yeah.
But I do wish I was listening a little bit earlier on. I think I could have avoided things earlier had I just been a little bit more receptive of slowing down, enjoying time, not rushing to be an adult. Yeah.
Yeah. So I usually end the episode there, but because of our conversation, I'm inspired to ask one more question. There are people in our lives that believe in us before we believe in ourselves. They just believe in everything that's a part of us. And I can tell that your brother was one of those people.
Oh, yeah.
Who believed in you from the get, who was supercharged. Even when your dad was kind of like, content isn't, he was like, hey, she's going to change the world. If you could say something to him before we close, what would you have told him?
We made it.
Hey.
We made it. I know he sees.
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes that's all it
He
takes,
said
right?
I made it before I made it. So that
Yeah.
man knows I made it. He knew before I did. That's what I would tell him.
Thank you. I appreciate you joining Maybe This Matters. You are so cool.
Yes, likewise.
And this was a wonderful conversation. Thank you so much, truly.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And for everybody watching, I always say this. I do this for you. I'm hoping that these conversations mean something to you. I'm hoping that if I sit here long enough and talk to you long enough, that maybe this helps. I'm hoping that maybe this heals. I'm hoping that maybe this matters. Thank you.